again, everybody. It's Dirk. Continuing on. Here we are on lovely Interstate 80, the nation's main east-west arterial highway. We're in Iowa, and gosh, where are we? We're just passing through Newton, Iowa, and I've heard Newton is the fun capital of the United States. Somebody confirm if that's true or not. I don't know, I just heard it. People say, I don't know. Anywho, gosh, it's already 4 in the afternoon. Man, where did this day go? Continuing on my saga of the week. This morning, I was all set. Oh, by the way, I said on yesterday's video that, I was going to wait until like the last hour of my clock and find parking and, call it a day. Well, I did that. What I didn't do, though, is take a look at exactly where all the truck stops were. I just assumed Interstate 80, there's truck stops everywhere, right? And on most of 80, it's true until you get out west. But, most of, from Midwest towards the east, there's truck stops everywhere. And unfortunately, just to the west side of I-35 on 80, there really isn't a lot. There's kind of a dead spot, a dead zone, as it were, just immediately west of Des Moines for quite a few miles. And so I ended up stopping actually in Des Moines on I-35, like I-35 and 80 kind of combine, and then they go up north around Des Moines. And right when they combine, there's a Love's right there, and it's a really big Love's, and it used to be some kind of I'm guessing some kind of a restaurant, because the building isn't, the usual typical corporate Love's kind of building. And it's a massive parking lot, which is really nice, actually, to have so much free parking, in a city like, Des Moines, Iowa, which is by no means a small town, so very, very nice to have that kind of parking. They had 12 showers, which is a lot for a truck stop. And just a really nice place to stop. So anyway, I stopped there, and by the time I got in my space, I was like, okay, I know I'm like getting close to the end of my clock, but I wasn't like watching it like a hawk. I kind of assumed that I had about a half hour left or something like that. I pull the brakes, I look over on my tablet, I got 7 minutes left. It's like, oh crap. So note to self, keep an eye on your clock a little bit closer in your last hour, because time does fly in this job, especially when you're focused and you're concentrating on something. And I'm trying to find a place to park and not hit anything, and it's dark, and so obviously my main focus is on doing all that. I completely disregarded my clock, right? So don't do that. I was 7 minutes away from a violation. So, but no harm, no foul. Got it shut down. Everything was fine. Stayed the night there. Woke up bright and early, and was going to head off to pick up this loaded trailer in Perry. That's the name of the town, Perry, Iowa. A broken down vehicle was reported on just to the north and a teeny little bit west of Des Moines, and kind of out in the middle of the country, as many of these Tyson facilities are, if not most of them. So I get ready to get going, and I look at my tablet, and Hirschbach has their own app, and which is a very useful thing. I give them a lot of kudos for that. Hirschbach, great job having a phone app set up the way you do. Because your hours of service clock are on there, it kind of mimics what the company tablet has. And it makes things very, very convenient, because you can always do like one function on the tablet while you're looking at another on your phone, and vice versa. And that may not sound like a big deal, but it is a big deal, because constantly having to exit out of something and then go into something else, look at it, exit out of it, you get where I'm going. It gets cumbersome and it wastes a lot of time. So having two devices that can run the suite of applications that we use is incredibly helpful. So kudos, Hirschbach, whoever thought of that and whoever designed that app, they did a really nice job, because it's very clear and it's very very nice to use. So anyway, I go in there and I check my messages, and I got a message from dispatch, because originally basically I had a very big open window that led me to believe that that trailer was, certainly finished and ready to be picked up. And and thankfully somebody in dispatch was kind enough and thoughtful enough to send me a message real quick saying, hey, your trailer, let me see if I can get over here. Come on, guy, pass me. There we go, thank you. I want to hit Mr. Tow Truck Driver. All right. Yeah, that guy was coming up hot on my rear end and then decided to slow down. Thank you. Anyway,
construction was
I got a message from dispatch saying that, hey, that trailer, by the way, is not going to be ready until noon. Okay, well, not good news as far as, me getting my day rolling and getting on with things, but very nice to have received that message, because had I not, I would have made my way up there. And it would have been way, way early. And I would much rather sit at a truck stop than sit at a Tyson facility. And that particular facility, I was there once before. And I do remember when I was there, I didn't see anything. It was on a weekend. But I do remember seeing that they are what they call a kill facility. So animals are brought in there for slaughter. And it's horrible, and I don't like thinking about it. I'm a big animal lover. I just can't stand the idea of animals being killed and all of that. Flip side of that is, though, that I'm a bit of a hypocrite, because as much as I love animals and all of that, I also, I'm an omnivore. I don't eat a lot of meat just because it's not that healthy, and I don't really have a taste for it all the time. Mostly I eat fruits, vegetables, nuts, all that good stuff. But I still love turkey, I still love chicken, I still love a good steak, a good burger, what have you. And I know full well where the meat comes from, and I don't like that, but okay, what are you going to do? Anyhow, yeah, so I would have much rather stayed on a weekday where there are possibly animals being brought there for slaughter. Much rather stay at the truck stop and hang out there. So I hung out, got caught up on a few things with the truck that I wanted to do, and clean up some stuff and all that. And come about 11, I was about a half hour out, so about come 11:30ish or so, I started my clock, did my pre-trip, and moseyed my way up there. Well, I got there at, I'm going to say about 12:30, so 30 minutes past noon, I get there, I go to the gate, and trailer's not ready. Okay, it happens, no biggie. So I get this piece of paper the guard gave me, and with phone numbers and blah blah blah. So I go and drop my empty first, and now I'm sitting there bobtail waiting. Ended up being about a 2-hour wait, which, considering again it's foodstuffs, it's in a food producing facility where their lines produce this end product and load them directly into trailers. There's no warehousing involved in it, so you are bound to have trailers that get delayed, and that's just part of the game, and I'm okay with that. That's fine. So I get it, get my stuff, I go get this trailer, and the procedure at this particular Tyson, now, when you go to a customer facility, whether it be Tyson or any other facility, at least the ones that I've been to, whether you go to General Mills or Purina or Walmart or wherever the hell you go, the usual is that you pull into these facilities, you pull into their truck entrance, and you pull up to the guard shack, and you stop in whatever designated lane there is, if there's more than one lane, and you wait till it's your turn, and once you get up to that stop sign, if there's a line of trucks, once you get up there, you pull your brakes, you go into the guard shack. If they don't come out to you, some of them come out to you, and if they don't, you go in to see them. and sign in and, you know, give them your information, and they get you set up. And you basically, you follow their instructions, you know, so every facility is a little bit different. And so once they determine what you're there to pick up and they determine that it's ready, you know, these guard shacks, generally, again, like yard dogs, they're usually pretty cool. And they know what's going on, obviously, in their facility because it's their fiefdom, you know. I mean, that's their job, right? They know the facility better than anybody else, just like the yard dogs do, because they work there all the time, right? So as a rule of thumb, you go in there as a truck driver, you're polite, you give them the information, and you do what you're told. So if they want you to go do this, this, and this, you go do that, that, and that, right? So, and they're usually pretty clear. Or they have very clear signage. Some of these facilities do a tremendous job with signage on their property, you know, with arrows and, you know, you guys go here, you guys go there, park here, da 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 da. So whether it be through signage or through the verbal instructions that you receive from the guard shack, you get a very, very, very clear instruction as to what you are supposed to do as a truck driver and how their process is supposed to work. And you follow it, and everybody's happy. So I say that because at this particular place, unfortunately, one of the guards is a very elderly man, very nice guy, doesn't say much, actually doesn't say anything. He just kind of mumbles, but, you know, pleasant, you know, he's just doing his thing, and you just kind of wait patiently, and he's a little slow, and that's fine. Okay, you know, we're all going to get there someday, if we're lucky. You know, you get a little older, things slow down, and that's fine. I'm totally patient with that, and that's, you know, I'm patiently waiting, and so I'm getting along just fine with that guy. And he gives me a sheet of paper that tells me the trailer number and where it's located, and you know, yada yada. So great. So I have this paper in hand. I go back out to my truck. Now, in this particular facility, when you come in, they don't want you to pull up to that guard shack. They want you to park on the road going in to the guard shack. There's like a gravel shoulder, and they want you to pull over onto the gravel and then walk your way into the guard shack. They want to keep that entryway clear, which is a little unusual. I don't recall another major facility that is set up like that. And it's set up that way because of how their building is designed and their property is designed. It's like you kind of left them with no other choice to do it that way. It's just because of how it's situated. So I knew that coming in, and that's exactly what I did. I parked on the gravel and I walked in and, you know, got my stuff. So now I walk back out. I get in my tractor, which, you know, now I'm bobtail. I come into the gate, take a right turn. You have to take an immediate 90-degree right turn. You go up around one of the buildings, and there's this yard where they have all of the loaded trailers that are ready to be pulled and taken out of there. I find my trailer, I set up, I pre-trip it, do my, you know, my air brake test, do all of that good stuff that you're supposed to do, because I am a Boy Scout, and yes, I still do all of that stuff. Even though 99% of other drivers that I see around me every day don't, which in my opinion is a huge issue in the industry. I think it's incredibly irresponsible how a lot of drivers just completely blow that off. But that's a whole nother topic of discussion. So suffice it to say, I will never, ever blow that stuff off. It's way too important. And these machines are way too big and heavy to be taking any chances like that. And I will never be that guy, ever. I check my shit out before I roll. So that said, got my trailer all set up. I come back out, and now normal procedure again when you leave the facility is you come up to that guard shack and you stop at the stop sign, and they have to check your trailer, check the seal, check the temperature of the reefer. You know, they go through their whole little checklist before they let you leave. So I do that. I pull up. You know, there's no gravel shoulder to pull onto. There's no nothing. You just have to come up to this guard shack and stop at this stop sign, right? So I stop at the stop sign, and this is what I had done before the last time I was there. No problem whatsoever, right? It's the only logical thing really that you can do, because there is no shoulder going out. So I stop at the stop sign, I go in, and now it's not just my soft-spoken, elderly guy in there with his little guard uniform. It's now this guy. Oops! Hey, bags from heaven! Whoa! All right. It's this guy that looks like a giant grumpy walrus, like kind of Wilford Brimley looking, but a little younger than the Wilford Brimley that we all remember from the Quaker Oats commercials. But he looks like a walrus, kind of a big guy, and he's super slow moving. It's one of these guys that, he was, as I was talking with the other guy, he's opening his mini fridge and getting his little Tupperware dish with his lunch sandwich, sets it down on the counter. Everything's in slow motion. Goes back to the fridge, grabs a cup of yogurt or something. But I was getting a kick out of it silently, just watching this guy move or not move. So kind of like walrus and turtle. Looked like a walrus, acted like a turtle. Anyway, I'm just finishing up with this, this friendlier, elderly, quiet guy, when Mr. Walrus decides to turn around and look out the window, and he sees my truck. And the very first thing that comes out of Walrus's mouth is, "Who the f*** parked here?" Okay, that's pretty professional. And then he looks up at me through the glass and he points his finger. I mean, literally points his finger, at my face. "Is that your f***ing truck?" I said, "Excuse me?" And he goes, "Is that your f***ing truck?" I said, "Well, sir, first of all, I'm not 7 years old. I'm a 55-year-old grown man, ex-military. You might want to choose a different tone. But yes, that's my truck." "Why the f*** are you parked there?" "Come again?" "Why did you park there?" "Well, because that's normally where you park. Was I supposed to park somewhere different?" "You're supposed to park over. You're supposed to back it over back into those buildings." "Okay, well, I apologize. Didn't know. I was here once before and I didn't do that. I had no idea. My apologies." "Well, what the hell? You just can't..." And this guy just keeps going on and on and on. I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? I mean, the area that he's telling me that I had to back up my truck, had you seen this area, no reasonable, rational, logical human being would have ever thought to back a truck up between these buildings. There's a brake area out there. There's equipment out there. There's employees. There's 30 employees out there with their, their Tyson cold uniforms and their hats and helmets and their ear goggles and all of that, and their safety glasses. And they're all sitting around, either having a smoke or having a snack or whatever. I mean, this is a busy alcove between the buildings. And apparently, you're supposed to back your trailer into that. Back your trailer. Back 40,000-pound heavy trailer into all of this confusion and all of these people milling about. That's real safe. But apparently, that's what you're supposed to do. So, heaven forbid, you don't block that gate, right? So that's the main priority in Mr. Walrus's brain. Obviously, that's his hot button. That nobody can block his precious gate, even for a millisecond, right? So, typical example of somebody who comes into work every single day and is in their own private Idaho, not realizing that there's an entire world of stuff happening outside of his little fiefdom, and that entire world of other facilities does things quite differently. So I asked the guy, I said, "Well, if it was that important, shouldn't somebody have let me know?" They did let you know, he barks back at me. I'm like, no, they didn't. Yes, they f***ing did. They f***ing told you. I said, again, you can watch your language and watch your tone, or you can go f*** yourself, is what I told him. And that's not like me. I don't usually do that. But this guy was pushing my buttons, right? And that shut him up. He just kind of, Now, mind you, you're seeing me sitting. I'm 6'5". I'm about 240 pounds. I'm not a small person. I'm also military trained. I am not about to take shit like that from anybody. I don't care who they are. And I don't care if you've got a little guard uniform and a hat that makes you think that you're like some badass or something, right? So, but again, I don't usually flaunt that kind of stuff. I'm very low-key, I'm very friendly, I'm very affable. You know, I'm the last guy in the room that is going to start trouble. I just don't. I like making people laugh. I like lightening the mood. I like diffusing things, right? But this guy just, I mean, he kept going, and that one last F-bomb was all I could take, right? So at some point, you got to stick up for yourself as a human being. I mean, either you respect me and I'll respect you, but if you continuously disrespect me, you're gonna have a problem. I'm going to say something, right? So I got him shut up, at least for a few seconds, and I said, look, you weren't here when I checked in. There was somebody else here when I checked in. You have no idea what was said to me. And I see no signage directing drivers to do anything other than what I just did, because that's normal procedure at every other facility known to man. So if it's that important that somebody not block that gate, and if it's that important that they park in a specific area to come here, why don't you let them know either through signage or through a handout sheet? When you give me that sheet that shows me where my trailer is, why not attach a little piece of paper to that saying, here's where you need to stage your truck before you leave? We did that before, it didn't work. Okay, well, you know, I'm out of ideas, sorry. And I just stopped talking, you know, and just let him grumble. And it's like, again, one of these people that's just irrationally hostile. I don't get it. I don't know why are people so short-fused? It's mind-blowing to me. Anyway, the other guy slides his paperwork through, my paperwork through the glass underneath. You know, it's kind of like got one of those like movie theater glass things and you slide it through. Slides it through. I grabbed my paperwork. I said, hey, thank you. We'll see you later. Go out to my truck. And as I'm walking out, he goes, you better move that truck. You had to get that last one little decisive, I'm in charge here kind of thing. So you know what? That's exactly what I did. Normally, when they give you your paperwork, you're supposed to walk out to your truck, and you're supposed to stop, and you're supposed to wait, and you gotta wait, and then one of the guards will waddle their way out, and they'll come and check your seal, and they'll check your temperature. They'll do all that whole check of your trailer again, like you haven't done it already. As a matter of fact, you even have to write a sheet with the seal number and the temperature readings and all of that stuff that you turn into them before they give you your paperwork. So, you know, again, maybe two sets of eyes, fine. That, you know, we had that in the military too, in the airline industry. Great, okay, I get the concept. But I had checked all that stuff. I know it's good. So instead of doing that this time, I was so pissed off that you know what? I just got kind of indignant. I said, you know what? I'm going to be an asshole too. And again, it's normally not like me. But I said, this guy, Mr. I'm in charge guard, just told me to move my truck and get out of here. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So I jump in my truck, pull up the brakes, put it in gear, and I start driving. And I see Mr. Walrus in my rearview mirrors coming out of the office to check my trailer that's already driving down the road. And everything I could do to contain myself, I so wanted to reach my arm out the window and flip him the bird, but I didn't. I just drove out. Did what I was told. So, I don't know. There's something in the water in Iowa. I was always under the impression that folks in Iowa are extremely pleasant. They always have been in my past dealings with them, but I guess I had to find the 2 or 3 assholes that are residing in the state of Iowa. I don't know. Anyway, heading over to Illinois. I'm going to Rochelle with this trailer, Rochelle, Illinois, to another Tyson facility where it will be dropped off. It will be relayed to another driver who's going to bring it to, I believe, Zeeland, Michigan. And I'm dropping it off there because this is my last load and I get to go home. So after I drop this trailer, I'll be heading home for home time, and that will be the end of my week. So, yeah, unless something else comes up, which I'll splice in. If not, I wish you guys all a great day, a great few days. I'm going to be off for a couple, and I'll try to hit it again. I'm trying to put more videos out, you know, now that I'm getting in a little bit more of a rhythm with the cameras and with editing in the evening, and because it is actually a lot of work, and it's work that I enjoy. It's a great hobby. I love doing it, but it is time consuming to edit video and wait for it to render and upload it. You know, it takes quite a bit of time. So, and time is one of the commodities in trucking that you don't have a lot of. So, I'm trying the best I can to put them out as I can. So, yeah. So have a great time, you guys. Until we meet again. Stay safe. Stay happy. If you're not happy, hey, only you can do something about it. You know, they say that you gotta change things to change the direction of your life if you're not happy with it, and don't be afraid to do that. You always have to go for your happiness. That comes first. Your own well-being, because you can't be any good to anybody else if you're miserable. So that's it. You guys take care, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.